everybody, and welcome to ESO Weekly here on the ShoddyCast channel. I am Kyle, and with me, as always, my dear darling brother Josh.
Greetings and howdy everyone.
And guess what, y'all? We have 106 days until ESO releases. That is right. We actually have a confirmed day that ESO will be coming out. Josh, what day is that?
106 days from now.
Which is what day?
Which is April 4th, 2014.
Yes.
4/4/14 looks damn good on a poster, right?
Yes. I wonder if anyone thought of that. You know what? 4/14 would definitely look good on a poster, and maybe I'll guess that's the... Oh, wait, I guessed that day.
Yes. In case you're listening and you don't know this, Kyle magically looked into his crystal ball and into the future and predicted a couple days before it was announced that ESO will in fact be releasing on 4/4/14. We do have a video out right now where we kind of had our little reaction to the release date, so if you want to hear us talk more about the release date and stuff, you could reference back to that. But yes, 4/4/14 for PC and Mac, correct?
Yep. We don't know the date specifically for the consoles, but they said it will be in June. If I had to guess, and if they went with the same kind of release date thing, I guess 6/6/14 would be the day, so June 6th.
I believe
also a Friday.
You heard it here first, folks. We have a knack for this.
All right, but let us get into our topics for today. We're going to be talking about ESO and whether it is considered a sandbox MMO or a theme park MMO, and what the differences are between those. And also, we kind of just, before we go into that, I just wanted to show off the Emperor armor in the video now that they did release a concept art for. It's getting really mixed reviews. A lot of people don't think it's ornate enough for it to be like Emperor armor.
Yeah,
it should be total badass. But I think a lot of these people are like from WoW, and they want like glowy, big-ass shoulder pauldrons and crap going on.
Yeah, like blinking eyeballs on the armor sets, and like fire coming off of it, and like he's looking like a phoenix or something. I gotta say, either way, there was gonna be complaints. You know this. Right now, we're looking at the Emperor's armor, and it's got like sort of a darker, more, a gritty, like something you would have seen in Skyrim rather than Oblivion. Oblivion, you got the, I think it was the Imperial dragon armor or something. It was the armor set you get for completing the game, and it was said to be the armor set worn by the Cyrodiilic emperors. And it was, gold trimmed and all that, but it was the color was very saturated, right? Because that just followed the whole Oblivion
the whole
game
was very saturated. So yes, you got shinier, polished looking armor. Where this, you're getting the more gritty feel. I think what we're seeing from the Elder Scrolls Online and the approach they're trying to take with it, they liked the feedback I think that Skyrim got for being a more gritty game. People had dirt on their faces, the armor had chinks in it and stuff. It looked like a world that had been lived in, and I think that's the approach the Elder Scrolls Online has definitely run with, and we can see that in all of their armor designs. I would say it's a mix between both Oblivion, with its, crisp colors, but also taking cues from Skyrim in that regards of it looking, like you said, like it's been lived in.
Yeah, I think the crisp colors you probably see the most in the creatures in the world and stuff. Like, you see them, they're very bright and vibrant, but from most of the armor sets, at least the ones we've seen in the games, they tend to have darker colors with exceptions. I think you're right, there was exceptions like the elven armor, I think had a lot more color to it, which makes sense. The elves would get a little more pretty with their armor sets, but at the end of the day, that sort of thing all comes down to personal preference. Do you like grittier looking armors? Do you like ornate armors? I think the Emperor should have some polished looking armor though, right? You think he's the Emperor, he should have. It
depends. If it's like a kind of Emperor that just is in the bureaucracy and just deals with papers and crap, then yeah, it should be all high shine, polish and everything. But if you're like a warrior Emperor that does things by his own hand, then yeah, it should be gritty looking.
I see. So like this is something a Talos Emperor would wear, the one that would have been on the battlefields or whatever. Yeah, definitely I could see that.
But as for the armor itself, I like it. I mean, it still has that ornate gilding, gold gilding going throughout it. It's got like a crown kind of built into the helmet. And
that is cool touch.
And then like the best touch I like though was that Amulet of Kings
looking thing that's in the chest piece and in the helmet.
Yes, I think that's interesting, and that was a very cool thing that you pointed out that I didn't see when I first looked at it. Yeah, it has a little setting for like the Amulet of Kings and stuff. Now I'm curious to see if they'll actually have, say, oh yeah, that's the Amulet of Kings sitting in that armor set or something. I don't think they will either. I think in this period in time in lore, the Amulet of Kings is actually lost. It's buried in Sancretor for Talos to dig up later. The Amulet of Kings won't be a factor, and as it shouldn't be, because...
Plus, like, would you be able to wear it?
You'd have to be of the dragon blood, right? That's the lore aspect
just fall off like an Oblivion. Unless you did console commands. Alright, so let's get into our hot button topic for this week. First off, talk about what is a sandbox MMO and what is a theme park MMO. This is actually not so cut and dry as you might think, because there's different definitions for these. Some are very strict definitions for what they are, but then there's some other more common definitions that it's become today. So let's talk about sandbox MMO first, since this is kind of the harder one to talk about. Like, a very strict definition is that it's fully player driven, and this means that all the content in there is only done by the players. There's no like content that was made by the developers of the game. So it's basically just a world, and then that's pretty much it. There's just the universe is there for the players to do whatever they want in.
Right, like at least the definition of a sandbox in my mind is all the toys are there, all the goodies, you have a fully fleshed out world and everything, but as far as the activities and things you do actually within the game, player driven.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, one of the best examples you can give for this is like EVE Online, Ultima Online, and the one you mentioned before when we were talking about this, Star Wars Galaxies. All of these are like one of the closest examples to the strict definition of a sandbox MMO. Now let's talk about the more common definition for sandbox MMOs, which is basically just synonymous with open world. People think, when they think open world, they think a sandbox. That's basically what the common definition has been now. So like, there may not be a main quest line, or there may not be a progression system or character limitations, or there won't be those, the land won't be segmented by leveled zones and stuff like that. It would just be an open world, like GTA or something, but without the main quest line. So yeah, that is basically what the system has become now, and it would be a system that promotes just free roaming, exploration. That's pretty much it.
Yes.
And maybe a few select activities and quests. But for the most part, it's just an open world. And that's what people think. Now let's go to theme park and what that means in regards to an MMO. Really, the term lately has been synonymous with it being linear. Just very on guardrails, going from quest to quest. Very directed path.
Yeah, I mean, what do we think when we think of a theme park? We think of attractions, right?
Like in roller coasters.
Yeah, attractions, roller coasters, preset activities that you go and do and have a blast doing it. That's what like a very linear quest line or very scripted events within a game would have.
And one of the prime examples for that would be SWTOR that came out, which is very ironic since Star Wars Galaxies is considered a very sandbox type MMO.
Yes, Star Wars Galaxies was sandbox big time. You know, you had player homes that you can customize. You could drive on your little speeder for miles and miles in just barren nothingness. The players made that game what it was. But where Star Wars The Old Republic, it was almost the entire opposite, right? So we had this amazing, these really good quest lines, especially the main class quest lines in Star Wars The Old Republic. Very linear, BioWare, we're talking BioWare style, you know, storytelling here, where it was very cinematic in its delivery, dialogue options, cutscenes, all that good stuff.
And now another more strict definition for a theme park MMO is that it has a very strong progression system, a lot of gear grinding in it, going through dungeons over and over again to collect points and stuff for reputations. There's pretty much nothing else to do besides the content the developers have made for you. If you didn't do the content the developers did for you, you'd basically just be sitting around twiddling your thumbs. It'd be very boring. There's no player-driven content at all. That is what a theme park MMO is in a strict definition.
In its purest definition, yes.
And WoW tends to fall into that definition. World of Warcraft is a very theme park MMO. Even though a lot of people like to say, oh, it's open world, you can go out and do anything you want. You can't. It's all stuff that developers have made for you. Otherwise, you're sitting around killing wild boars.
Yeah, because even when you're in a group with a bunch of players, what are you doing? Oh, you're raiding through a scripted dungeon and all that as well. So, yes, I would still say no MMO falls entirely under one definition or the other, right? We have World of Warcraft, Star Wars The Old Republic, Guild Wars 2. None of them are strictly sandbox or strictly theme park MMOs. Every single MMO is a hybrid, but I guess the question we're asking here is, from the information we have for The Elder Scrolls Online and what has been released and talked about and what we've seen in trailers, what do we think The Elder Scrolls Online is leaning towards? Is it leaning more towards a sandbox feel, or is it leaning more towards the theme park MMO feel?
Yeah, so when you're looking at ESO, you kind of have to ask yourself, are you living in the game or are you playing the game?
Yes.
Is basically the question you're asking. So yeah, you have to kind of just, like you said, look at the kind of aspects of the game. So what would you say looking at ESO? We've kind of the cat's out of the bag that we played beta. So
Yes.
like we've had some experience with the game and what's going on with it. So without giving details, but your personal opinion, would you say that it leans more towards a sandbox or theme park?
Well, I think it all comes back, to the tools it gives, because it's an MMORPG, and RPG tends to lean more towards like sandbox ideals, things where you have a lot of things and activities to do outside of questing and things like that. For instance, I can walk inside of a tavern, buy a pitcher of ale, sit down with a friend, actually sit in a chair, and there's a lot of emotes and things that enable me to just have fun simply existing within this world and exploring this world. Now, The Elder Scrolls Online does have that going with it. Lots of emotes and things you can do on the side outside of questing. There's exploration as well. However, it does fall back to more of a theme park MMO, and where exploration isn't going to be as raw and freaking off the rails as the past Elder Scrolls games, which that is exactly what I want from it, right? I want to be able to get to places, look off in the distance, and I know everyone has done this. When you play an Elder Scrolls game, it is a very fun thing to do. Look off into the distance, see a far off mountain or landmark, and say to yourself, I want to get there. And you go there. That's possible, and that's always been a very fun thing in the Elder Scrolls Online, or the Elder Scrolls series in general, is wherever you can see, you can pretty much journey. The only walls limiting you are 4 walls separating the actual, province you're exploring in. So very, very open. The Elder Scrolls Online, we know for a fact that is not going to be the case. They have segmented the game off into zones. Now, these zones, we're told, are very, very large zones, very big and open, but at the end of the day, it is more restricting than a classic test game would be. So now we're seeing it lean more towards that theme park MMO feel.
And then also, since they are segmented, they're also segmented by level as well, which means you do have to progress with your character just really to be comfortable in that zone.
Yes.
Which again limits your character in the exploration aspect of the game.
Big time.
But then harkening back to the sandbox feel, we do have like organic stuff they're talking about. Like you said, if you see a shiny, and you go, I want to see what that is over there. What's going on over there? You have all these organic quests that they're saying is going to happen. You'll see activities or events that are happening that you'll then be able to go over and help with or something.
Yes.
But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how it goes, because, we've seen MMOs do that, right? Like Guild Wars 2, I think, is a perfect example of a MMO that sought to do something dynamic with their dynamic events, and it produced a very fun leveling experience. You would just walk around, and there would be these events you can join in on, things that are ongoing in the world that you can join in, and it's a quest, and you get, experience at the end of it and stuff. Now, I don't know, the Elder Scrolls Online questing system, what I want from it is not that sort of Guild Wars questing system. Obviously, this is a test game, so I'm looking for the test kind of questing system. When you're going into the just like Skyrim, for instance, do you usually walk to a town and pick up all those quests and go do them? Because that's what most MMOs are like.
I usually do that. I prefer to do that.
That's
actually.
your preferred
I
style.
like being on rails. If I'm honest, I prefer theme park MMOs.
Okay,
to Sandbox
that's where we
ones.
differ then. So
Yeah.
it's good that we're both talking about
Yeah.
this because you're getting totally different perspectives. For me, the best quest that I've ever encountered in any Elder Scrolls game, whether it had been Oblivion or Skyrim, were encountered randomly in the world. I wasn't looking for them. I was maybe exploring. I was maybe pursuing a main quest line, maybe within the Dark Brotherhood or Mages Guild or something. And I would stumble across this quest and it would find me, kind of. You know, I'd be walking out in the wilderness and this guy would run up to me and say that he was kidnapped by vampires. And here, let me mark on the map where this vampire lair is, and maybe you can go clear them out. And you have the option to help the guy or not. That sort of thing, I think, has such an organic feel to it. It makes me feel like I'm not a person kind of touring around in this fantasy world. I'm living within it, you know, and that's always been my thing. Now, is the Elder Scrolls Online going to deliver on that? I don't know. I don't know how many random events, how many random quests they have, and how much they're relying on quest hubs. I don't know.
Okay, so then given what you know, though, which way are you leaning towards?
I'm leaning towards, sadly, I think they're going to take more of an MMO approach to it.
So theme park.
Yes, I think they will have random quests because they have mentioned that they're going to have a random quest in there. But if they truly had as many random events type quests as like the past test games, I think they would have advertised it a lot more than they have been.
Well, as for my answer, something we haven't talked about, at least in this episode, is the whole PvP aspect. That's very open world in its own right. And it's very player driven as well, the whole PvP thing. I mean, there's a lot of role playing that could be going on. There's a lot of trade and stuff going on as well when you come with the whole guild store system they have. Players capturing keeps for themselves in their guilds. A lot of player driven stuff is going to happen there, as well as bounties and stuff. And people are gonna be role playing the shit out of it. I know they're going to be doing that. And then also, I think their mindset is... The developer's mindset is very much towards a sandbox type MMO. They don't even like using the term MMORPG when they're describing their game. They like to call it a multiplayer RPG, which subtle difference, but it is a difference. They just hate that term MMO. They never use it. It's always multiplayer RPG. So with their mindset and then the PvP thrown in there, which is very sandboxy to me, I'm going to lean more towards a sandbox, but not by much.
Okay.
So it's very
That's
much
fair
a
enough.
hybrid, very much in the middle, but I'm still going to lean towards sandbox.
Honestly, the best thing the Elder Scrolls Online could ever do is be perfectly in the middle, perfectly balance a sandbox with a theme park. Because what is Skyrim if not a perfect balance between sandbox and theme park? Here we have two different gamers sitting here, right? Josh here likes to run around and explore and stuff like that, where Kyle here likes to, you know, stick to linear stories and you like to finish the
story.
main stories fast and stuff like that.
But I also like just killing the crap out of things.
I mean, you could even see that day one when we got Skyrim. I think like the day after we got it, you said,
finish the story.
You called me, Josh, I beat the game. Yeah, I
You
finished
can't
the main
beat
story.
the game.
You don't beat Skyrim. Skyrim beats you.
One does not simply beat Skyrim.
Yeah, so I think that's exactly what the test games have done perfectly. Everyone here can attest that if they wanted to run off and explore the world, they had more than enough stuff to do by simply existing and running around in raw exploration. And then on the other side of the spectrum, there was times where I got bored of exploration. I said, okay, time for some scripted story with dialogue and characters, and you go have the Dark Brotherhood quest line, the companion quest line, the main quest line. I mean, there were so many things you could do in that game, and that's, I think, what the franchise has done absolutely splendidly, and what has set them apart, I think, from like any other franchise out there, is that they have a way of walking that line absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, you just need to make a game that won't just appeal to one mindset. It's got to appeal equally to both. You can have as much fun as you want just going off and doing whatever the hell you want to do, as you could doing all the scripted events that the developers have put in place for you. If you can make a game like that, very much like Skyrim, which is why it was so successful, then if you do that with ESO, you're going to have a winner.
The question is, will ESO, fully flesh out the sandbox, fully flesh out the theme park aspects like a Skyrim, or are they stretching their resources too thin and they're going to half-ass each, and only have like a half-baked product on each side of the spectrum? Then nobody's happy. It's a very dangerous game, and one we're only going to see the answer to, come 4/4/14. But I guess to conclude this little segment here, I mean, let us know what you guys would rather see, theme park or sandbox, and what do you think the Elder Scrolls Online is leaning towards?
Yep.
Yeah.
And just a final comment, I think it's funny that I prefer theme park ones, but I think ESO is going to be more sandbox, and you the exact opposite.
Yeah. I guess that speaks to every single gamer's fear right now, is I'm afraid if the Elder Scrolls Online is going to deliver or not. I mean, that's a fear, and even the biggest fanboy ever out there has that fear.
Does that mean we're both pessimists and cynics then?
I guess so. I'm scared, is what I'm saying.
All right. So yeah, go ahead, hit those comments. I know you're all going to be fighting and stuff, but that's fine. Just, keep it civil. No calling people Nazis and stuff that makes no sense whatsoever. Yes. So that was it for the debate, and let us go on into the developer question of the week. This one is from some guy named, well, let's just call him some Amish dude.
Hi, my name is John Solari, and I'm a QA lead at ZeniMax Online Studios. This is your question of the week. You and your allies are prepared to lay siege to a heavily defended keep. You have at your disposal plenty of siege equipment. Which would you prefer to operate? A trebuchet, a ram, a catapult, or a ballista? What's your plan? Do you weaken the keep walls, attack the doors, or focus fire the defending archers?
So the developers know we're thinking about PvP coming off their little PvP trailer, where we did see a lot of siege engine action, particularly the ram, which I don't think we've seen in gameplay before, the battering ram. At least not the way
I don't think so.
They showed it. They showed it coming through the doors, actually knocking them down, and it looked very, very cool, the battering ram did. But the question is, which piece of siege equipment would we like to be operating?
Man, do I talk from like an abstract view or from a person who's actually used all of them and knows?
Okay, let's talk from an abstract view, because that's
okay. Well, the catapult, I would say, probably looks the coolest. I mean, you just have this huge thing you pull out of your ass, and you're all of a sudden hurling rocks at walls and doors and stuff. I mean, that's pretty cool. Then you have the ballista, which you're shooting huge. It's like a huge bow and arrow, basically.
Yes.
And then you have the battering ram, which, I mean, is probably the most effective way to get into a keep, you would think, since it's not really good at hitting personnel, people. So from an abstract view, I'm going with the catapult.
Catapult? Okay, so you want to be knocking down...
Or trebuchet, whatever you want to call it.
Knocking down some walls with the catapult or a trebuchet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though my true answer is something else regardless of those. One that they don't really talk about, I don't know if it's really considered a siege engine, but it is a piece of equipment. They just haven't talked about it recently, so I'm not going to bring it up.
Oh, okay.
Besides that. Just know there's something else there that they haven't talked about, but it's very useful. But yeah, for some reason they're not talking about it.
Okay. By the way, I'd like to go on the record to say that trebuchet is a class of catapult. There was a video we did months and months ago where I was using the word catapult to describe the trebuchet.
Right, so a trebuchet is a counterbalanced catapult, whereas normal catapults are like tension-based, right?
So if you want to get all nerdy and technical, there you go. There you have it. All right, so my siege piece of equipment that I would like to use is a ballista, but only if it's actually going to be able to be used as a ballista should be used. I don't want to shoot...
Killing people.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to see somebody up on the walls, shoot them point blank with a ballista, and they take some damage. No, man.
They should, like, fly back.
Yes.
Stick to walls.
Exactly. Yes. If you get hit point blank by a ballista, I gotta see some physical reaction to this thing. Not just, oh no, my health pool is half now. No. I want to see this person fly back, Fusroda style, getting hit by the catapult. The ballista. I think that would be so cool to see, and it would actually stay true to that piece of siege equipment that I loved to use in Stronghold 2, the best RTS ever. Side note. There you go.
You just got a bunch of hate mail for that. Honestly, though, what do you think you're going to see? They're probably going to be like flaming ballista arrows, and they'll probably explode on impact.
Yeah, they're probably going to explode on impact and do like a little AoE or something like that.
Yeah. As for like the effect, all you'll see is probably just a little of fire.
Hey, that's fine. If they wanted to do that, I won't use it. I think that's lame.
Alrighty. So, yes, what is your answers, guys? Let us know in the comments below. And let us go on into our community segment, starting off with questions from the audience. First one here is from Chris, and it's about lore books.
Greetings, Mathseras. Now, as a scholar of Tamrielic lore, I wish to know if any of the books from the earlier installments will return, or if we will see a lot of new books that will add to the existing lore. I, for one, can't wait to start studying again. Keep up the good work, and may our blades never cross, for I will not hesitate to kill you if they do. For Elmalexia, may her uncorrupted beauty shine on us all. But seriously, good work. Greetings from the Netherlands. Chris out.
That was good. I like the shift there. That was a nice shift. Anyway, okay, so we're talking about books, lore books. Seeing lore books from the previous test games.
Jeez.
Absolutely. Yes, we're absolutely going to see lore books that are from the past installments of the Elder Scrolls, you know. Those developers know we've been reading them, at least the few of us that actually care and give a damn about the books in the game. But yes, they are most definitely going to be in there. The real question is, are they going to be smart enough to know what books need to be in there and what
We
aren't?
know this is true that they're not going to be, because they already have the Lusty Argonian Maid in there.
Yes.
They've already confirmed it, but the problem is that book wasn't written back then, so how is that going to happen? Because isn't the writer alive during the Skyrim? He was alive during the Oblivion time.
Yeah, something like that. I think it was Third Era. Don't quote me on this. Look it up. But yes, it was after the timeline of the Elder Scrolls Online, the book The Lusty Argonian Maid was written.
Yeah.
But the developers have confirmed in one of their Q&A or their Ask Us Anythings that the Lusty Argonian Maid book is making it into the Elder Scrolls Online, which totally, you know, that's a lore hole. That's a black hole of suckiness there that just doesn't work. What they need to do is Mr. Lauren Schick needs to get there and know what books can work within the Elder Scrolls Online timeline. I understand the reason why they want to include the Lusty Argonian Maid.
Sure,
it's
iconic.
It's an iconic book, very funny. People want to see it in their Elder Scrolls game. Since we can't have it in the Elder Scrolls Online, maybe make another, like, the Lusty Khajiit Maid or something, you know? Something written before that inspired the Lusty Argonian Maid to be written. You know, I don't know how many books they're going to be writing for the Elder Scrolls Online. I know they are.
Maybe they'll explain it through some obscure quest, or maybe it's through the Mages Guild or something. You deal with Hermaeus Mora and the fact that he brought books from the future into the past,
there
maybe something like that. Because I mean, he loves books, he's got them all, and you know, maybe he had something to do with why the Lusty Argonian Maid is in ESO.
Yeah. But I have to say, even if I encounter, I'm not one of those people where it's gonna, oh, that ruined my day because I saw the Lusty Argonian Maid book in the Elder Scrolls Online.
This game's bullshit.
Yeah, it's just, it's not gonna be that big of a deal, at least for me personally. But yeah, let's hope they do their homework, because if they're not doing their homework on that, then what else are they not doing their homework on when it comes to lore?
So, yes, there's going to be books that you're familiar with, but there's also going to be tons of new ones that they're putting in as well, including a very special one that we can't talk about, but we're very excited that it's there.
Remember the Chalamo!
That didn't give it away. Or
Never
anything.
forget! Never forget!
Let's just say that we are now canon, and you'll find out why. But yes, it's very cool, and we appreciate the developers for spending the time to put that in there. Next one here is from Harry, and it is about, well, it's a very general question about guilds.
Hey guys, I'd just like to ask you guys about guilds, because I've never played an MMO before, so I'm not sure really how it works. How do you join it? If I want to start one, not sure what to do. So I'd really like to ask you guys if you could just tell me what happens in great detail. Love the show. Keep it the lore. Bye guys.
It's weird to think that there's even people still in this boat. Like, I've been playing MMOs for so long now, to hear that there's people out there that don't know what a guild is.
You think they're like simpletons or something?
I don't think I'm... Oh, yes, they're simpletons. I'm superior because I wasted my time all these years playing MMOs, and they didn't. Yeah, that totally...
What are you doing? Going out with girls and stuff?
That makes sense. That totally registers. No. Okay, so, Kyle, you... out of the two of us here have participated the most in guilds. So
yes.
What's your definition of a MMO guild?
God, it really, all it is a system in place that allows you to play with like-minded gamers. People you may be friends with in the outside world, or maybe people you've only ever talked to digitally through the internet, through games and what have you. So yeah, that's basically all it is. It's just a system for a group of people to play together. So yeah, you'll have different guilds in place for people who want to have merchant guilds, people that want to do raiding, PvP, very specific guilds. And as for the system itself, I've seen it. It's very easy and just intuitive to use. So you'll have no issues if you want to create a guild yourself or join one. I mean, basically it's a couple mouse clicks and you're in a guild.
Yep, there's usually a guild chat where you can communicate with members within your guild, and it's just a group that you prefer to game with. And anyone and everyone out there that's listening right now that has not have played an MMO but have not actually gotten into guilds, or haven't played an MMO at all, regardless, get a guild. Get a guild.
Yeah.
The Elder Scrolls Online is meant to be played with people. Other people, whether it be real life friends that you know are going to play the game on day one, or other gamers that you're going to meet in your travels and stuff. Make friends. This game is built for it, and you're not going to experience all it has to offer unless you do that.
All right, and the last question is from someone just named JD, and it's about claiming keeps.
Hello Josh and Kyle, my name is JD and I have a question to you guys about keep control within Cyrodiil. ZeniMax released ages ago that keeps could be controlled by guilds, although they did not go into details about how it would happen. So my question to you is that if 5 guilds attack a keep together, how exactly would it be decided which guild has keep ownership once they take the keep? And if it turns out that the guilds wanted one guild to have that keep and not the other guild, would the guild that got the wrong keep be able to hand over ownership of that keep to the guild? Thank you for answering my question. I watch ESO Weekly every day and every week, and the lore series, as well as the Fallout lore series. And thank you, and death to the Queen!
That son of a...
Well, thank you for watching, and curse you and damn you for, wishing death upon our queen. So can we just sum up the answer for this question with a big resounding we don't know?
Pretty much, yeah. Speculation is all we have, really.
Yeah, that's all we've ever been able to offer the world, really, when it comes down to it. But yeah, 5 guilds attack a keep. Which one actually gets the ownership? Maybe... we know there's this alliance point system, and there's some sort of scoring system within the Elder Scrolls Online, so and within Cyrodiil. So maybe the guild that actually scored the most points attacking that keep. That is the only thing I can think of.
It could just be the amount of points they have. All the groups that are the people that are there within that guild add up all their alliance points they have. Whoever has the most gets it, or it could be just the guild that had the most members there at the taking of it could claim it.
Yep.
It could be whoever bids the most alliance points to claim it at some person, an NPC there is like, do you want to get this? Well, this person says they're going to have 5,000 points put down on it. Oh, I'll do 10,000 points. And it goes
that
on.
I could actually see working better, because the other examples cater way more towards larger guilds. Mm-hmm. Of course, the larger guilds are going to own every keep because they're going to have the most members attacking all these keeps. I could see some sort of bidding system like that where you actually purchase it through alliance points. That way you're even more invested in protecting your guild keep as well. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
But for an actual definitive answer, we don't have one.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, so that is it for the community questions. Let us go into the sponsors for the week. And let me just say that we are approaching our goal, finally.
Yes.
Only about just a couple $100 away. So hopefully in the next few weeks we will reach that. Our current goal is $2,500. It's for the voice actors we have. Now we have 2, right?
Yes, we have the voice of Vault-Tec for our little Vault-Tec presentations at the start of the Fallout videos, as well as the Fallout narrator. I also want to get some Elder Scrolls lore narrators in there as well. I like to get some female voices doing some of the work as well, especially since we're coming up on the tribunal for the Elder Scrolls lore. But that all depends on donations, out of my control.
Because we would love to do like actual quotes and stuff from the game, like very popular ones maybe that people would recognize, and to have voices that match that character would be awesome.
Oh, absolutely. I can tell you right now, in the next Tribunal episode, there is a quote from Azura that I would very much like to get voice acted, but that depends 100% on donations.
Yep.
The more donations we can get, the crazier we could get with our videos and voiceover as well. All that to say, we haven't had like a single female voice ever on the ShoddyCast. I think we've gotten like 2 females give their questions on like ESO Weekly, but it's a freaking sausage fest, man.
Oh well. But if you do want to see where your money's going when you donate, it's still a work in progress, but we do have an About Us page now, or a tab on our page, ShoddyCast.com, where you can actually see the staff we have currently that works for us, or with us, I guess.
Yeah, they don't work. It's all one big collaboration. The great thing, and I think why the lore series has succeeded as well as it has, is because when you get multiple people working on a project together, their creativity really feeds off of each other. And so that lore really has grown off of that and has been very fun to do as a result. But yeah, that's where the donation money goes more than anything.
All right, so we have donations from Liam Finn, new donor here, Andrew Woolridge, thank you. Another new donor, William Butterfield. I love that.
William Butterfield.
Adam Ninswitz. He returns, thank you. Jacob Best, hello there. Stephen Fish.
Dragonborn!
He says, hey guys, was wondering if you think it might be cool to have a race-specific ding sound for leveling. For example, Skyrim had sort of a Nordic shout. They have something like that for Nords. And for us Altmer, we could have something Altmer-ish. Just a thought, Kyle. Happy birthday, mate, whenever it is. Hope your neck is better. Wow. And Josh, if you would do the honors.
For the Queen!
Lovely. All right, thank you, Stephen. Another donation here from Shane John. He says, hey, Josh and Kyle, we absolutely love your show here in Vindictus. For those of you who haven't heard of us, we're an Ebon Pact guild of choice for all you hardcore PvPers out there, and we're exclusive to PS4. We specialize in PvP, however, we also do PvE in crafting. Come visit us, or come check us out at vindictus-p.engine.com. Wow, that's a long one. We'll see you on the battlefield. New donation, or new donor here from Alan Clark says, loving the show, even if it is hosted by minions of a deluded queen. For those listening with wisdom, come join the ranks of High King Emmerich and the Daggerfall Covenant. Line your purse with spoils of war. And I think this is going to be the new battle cry or whatever for Daggerfall Covenant. But I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. For the... Wait, I want to do like an old but snobbish kind of like Duke or something.
Okay.
But I don't know how I want to do it.
Because they got some coin
for
over there.
Oh, damn it. How do I want to do it?
It's okay. Take your time with it.
For the king and coin.
For the...
In the back of your throat. Like, do it in the back.
For the king and coin. Yes. Yeah. That could be it, man. For the king and coin. Okay. Yeah. I was seeing, did you tweet it or something? Because I saw a lot of people on our Twitter account, giving their suggestions. That one's good for the King and Coin. I also like for King and Covenant.
For King, that's not for it's for King and Coin.
For King and Coin, and then
For King
I heard
and Covenant.
for
I like that one, but it was too long.
for King
Covenant's
and
just too long. It's 3 syllables.
Covenant's too long of a word.
Yeah. So I like. That's why I like For King and Coin. And you know what? It's our show, so it's going to be that. All right. Next donate.
Or you know what we could do? We could totally. Doesn't Facebook have a voting system? It has like a poll system, right? What if we put a poll of the our favorite choices for the Daggerfall Covenant slogan? So yes, we should. Will you do that, Kyle? You're a social networking extraordinaire.
Sure.
Okay.
Anyways, next donation here from Morgan Callahan says The Awoken is a PC Daggerfall. Oh god, another one. Semi-hardcore RP PvE guild with some groups doing PvP as well. You must be at least 17 to join us. You can find our forums at awoken.guildlunch.com. P.S. Down with the silly Mer Queen. Wow, all these mean people.
Yeah, you know why? They're so jealous of our queen because she's so freaking hot. That's all it is. It's freaking jealousy.
Yes, that is it. New donor here, Alexander Eklund, says a little Xmas gift from a loyal but poor fan. Love you guys and your wonderful Test Lore series. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and a Merry Christmas to you.
New donor here as well, Gregory Stringer, says, my name is Orotom. Is that Tom? Yes. Orotom, simple blacksmith and part-time assassin. Try to keep quiet about that part, eh? Looking for a guild needs a good hand and making quality weapons and armor. I don't know what that word was supposed to be. I leave the fancy enchanting to the Bretts. Or if you need someone stabbed... Oh, if you need someone stabbed in the dark. I really should have checked this grammar first. Basically, he's a guy named Artom. He's a blacksmith and a part-time assassin. If you need work, he'll do it for you.
He'll hook you up, man.
Some
He'll
coin.
hook you up, yo.
Yeah. All right. And he says, wait. May the dagger find the queen? You son of a... God, people are hating her. All right.
Jesus.
Jesus. Martin Hirschner.
Dragonborn.
His head's gonna be like poop coming out of a butt.
Oh gosh, Kyle. Gosh, your analogies are like the analogies of a 12-year-old.
Yep. Timothy Brownell says, oh wait, he wanted us to sing Barbie Girl from Aqua, and I'm like, no,
we're hell no.
No.
Okay, we got our no, we got our freaking dignity still. We're gonna hold on to what little ounce.
It would take a lot more money than that for us to sing that.
Yeah, we're not willing to do it just because we don't want like 50 billion dislikes on this video. So.
That, yes. Brady Applegate returns, says, Lord Applegate here, up on his Apple mansion, and I have a small question. Do you know if we'll be able to use a controller for PC version of ESO?
For the Queen!
And sexy dance party for all. Quick answer. No, not officially supported, but there might be third-party software for your controller. All right. Alexander Poling, new donor, says, hi, I was hoping you could advertise my channel, White Fox 1225. Also, if you could mention I'm doing an ESO giveaway. For what, I wonder? The actual game? And all you have to do is sub to be eligible. And so, yeah, that's over at youtube.com/user/whitefox1225. Jeez. And the final donor here, who is also a new donor. Thank you, all you new donors out there. Jason Miller, he says, please add a console countdown clock. No, I don't wanna.
A console countdown clock?
Yeah.
You know what that one should just say? It should just say, ha, we get it first.
Yeah.
Signed PC. There you go.
Just add 2 months to whatever the countdown time is on there.
Yeah. How do you do a countdown timer for like the whole month?
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't have an exact date yet, but I don't know.
Anyways, yes. If you would like to sponsor the ShoddyCast, head over to ShoddyCast.com and you'll see a donation button on the right-hand side of the screen. If you donate $10 or more, you can leave a promotional message for us to really butcher through like we did today.
Yes, any and all septums donated to the ShoddyCast go directly into improving existing and new shows. Ooh, future foreshadowing. Yes. Not into our pockets, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of ESO Weekly. Don't forget to like this video and share it with everyone you know. Tune in on Friday for the next installment of the Elder Scrolls lore series. This one about the Divine Tribunal and how they reached out and grasped the power of gods. It should be pretty fun, especially for you Ebonheart Pact folks. You know, you got a vested interest. They're leaders here in the Ebonheart Pact, so tune in. And on another side note, ladies and gentlemen, we will not be having an episode the week of Christmas or the week of New Year's. That's right. The next 2 weeks will not see an ESO Weekly for the first time since the show actually started, I think. So, yeah, we have a life. Sorry. But yes, tune in after that, and we'll be back in January, early January. I have been Josh.
And I'm Kyle.
We'll catch you later.
Boy.